Good afternoon and welcome. Certainly is quite an honor to have our guests with us today, Governor and Commissioner of Education. We had a fantastic conversation regarding education, regarding our programs here at the school, and we're looking forward to his presentation. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Superintendent, Dr. Gregory Atkins.
Thank you, and I want to thank everyone for being here today. This has been quite an honor and a privilege for this school district. We are really proud of our many accomplishments as a district, so it's a real honor to have the governor here and the First Lady, the Commissioner of Education, and members of our local delegation. We are proud of the fact that we have had the highest graduation rate that we have seen in Lee County history, that we are preparing kids for college and career at an increasing rate, and I'm just, again, very privileged that we have these fine folks here to be a part of this and to be the host of the governor and as he prepares to give his announcement. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to the Commissioner of Education, Commissioner Corcoran, for a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. It's an honor to be here with you. It's an honor to visit with the school, visit with the students. It's also great to have our leader, Dane Eagle, and Ray Rodriguez, who I've served with these guys for 6 years back when I was in the legislature, and great champions of conservative, principle-based education legislation. And so it's great to have these guys here. And it's great to be here today for this announcement that the governor is going to make. I say to everybody, I started tweeting it, that we have the boldest #1 education governor in the entire United States of America. I tell my kids all the time, they talk about getting jobs, I say, here's my 2 criteria for getting a job. One is go where the action is. And as having someone who accepted a job with this governor, this guy's nonstop action 24 hours a day. And then the second thing is go and work for someone that you believe in. And it's so great to be able to serve on a daily basis with a governor who has a solid, principle, constitutional-based philosophical belief in what makes America great and is passionate about teaching the heck out of our school children so that they can grow up and be great citizens, have great careers, and great vocations down the road. And today, I think you're going to hear one of the boldest executive orders ever. We've been stuck, as many of you know, for a long time now with Common Core. Then we rebrand it, and we call it Florida Sunshine State Standard. It's all the same. It's all the same. It all needs to be looked at. It all needs to be scrutinized. And we need to sit down with the experts, the stakeholders, great superintendents, great leaders in the community, and figure out how do we write the best #1 standards in the United States of America. And this governor is about to lay that out. I'm probably stealing his thunder. I might get in trouble here. But without further ado, and it's honestly, one other thing. It's great also, you guys, she doesn't make it out to every event, but the First Lady, the events that she comes out to with regularity is when she gets to come to a school, meet with students, and encourage them to go forth and to prosper wildly. And so it's great to also have with us today the First Lady, Casey DeSantis. But with that, I give you our great Governor, Ron DeSantis.
Thank you. Well, thanks, Commissioner, and I really appreciate being at the school. I'm very impressed with what is going on, the students. It's really amazing, some of the programs that we have that when I was in Florida public schools, we did not have these things. And so I want to commend the superintendent, I want to commend the principal, and I want to commend the teachers because I think this is good stuff. So one of the things that we would constantly hear about on the campaign trail is a frustration with a lot of parents in particular with this idea of Common Core and some of the testing and some of the things that go into that. And it's called Florida Standards. Today we are doing an executive order that is going to instruct Commissioner Corcoran to get to work and come up with good standards for the state of Florida, which will include eliminating Common Core and the vestiges of Common Core. Talk to teachers, talk to parents, listen to their experiences, I had a lot of parents were very frustrated because they didn't understand some of the math and some of these things. So look, let's just try to get this right. We want to be very high quality. We want to demand excellence, but I think we want to do that in a way that's responsive to some of the concerns that we've had over the many number of years. And so the executive order will require the commissioner to provide a roadmap so that we have authentic Florida-based standards. He's also going to tell us how we can increase the quality of our instructional curriculum. He's going to suggest innovative ways to streamline some of the testing and to make that so that it's something that is measuring success, but we're not just teaching to a test. And then something that's really, really important to me is identifying ways so that we can really make civics education a priority in Florida. We reference in the executive order some of the Florida statutes, including the requirement for middle schoolers and the tests, and I think that's great. But I think when people graduate from a Florida high school, and I think some of the students here, are probably, very good in this regard, but I don't think it's true statewide. You really need to understand what makes America the country it is. We're not a country where everyone has the same religious denomination or everyone has the same ethnic heritage. What unites us, or what's supposed to, is the idea and certain principles that the country was founded on, that you see reflected in the Constitution, that have really been the focal points for a lot of the great debates we've had in the country's history. And I think it's important that when we're sending some of these students out, that they're not only prepared for a career or prepared for higher education, but they're prepared to discharge the duties of citizenship. And so civics education was something that I promised during the campaign, and I think as we go to with rewriting and figuring out what we need to do for standards and moving away from things like Common Core, I think that having civics education be a more central part in that is something that's very, very important to me. And I think, quite frankly, it'll pay dividends for us far into the future because you can prepare people for a good job, but if we don't have folks that understand what it means to be an American, are passionate about being citizens, that really undergirds everything else that we see, whether it's economy or all these other things. So I think it's really, really important. And then the final component is that we do believe we need to increase Florida's standing in terms of literacy generally with our students, and so we're going to be working hard on that. So I think that this is a chance for us to really lead the way, but it's also an opportunity for Floridians to provide input to the commissioner, and we want to hear from you because I think we want to do this right. This is not going to be something that is going to be dictated by the federal government. It's going to be something that is going to spring up from the communities here in the state of Florida. So I'm here to say when you complained about Common Core, I hear you. I told you I'd do something about it, and today we are acting to bring those promises into a reality. And I want to give, because as parents, Casey and I are concerned about, our kids are too young to be in school yet, but this is something that is, I think we're more passionate about now that we're parents than maybe, we were 5-6 years ago. And so I want to give her an opportunity to say a few things, and then I'll close it out.
Well, that is very hard to follow up upon after that. Let me just say this. I could not be more proud of what Ron is doing for the state. And when people were wondering during the campaign, is he going to be working hard? Is he going to be doing and delivering on those promises? And I think that we've seen since he's been in office, however many weeks, that he's working hard and he's listening to what the voters wanted for the state. And I couldn't be more proud. As a mother of 2 young children, Madison and Mason, Madison, by the way, is 2 years old, and she is very opinionated for being 2 years old. I'm just going to say that. And our 10-month-old Mason, and I'm a product of the public school system, and making sure that our children have a good foundation and a good education, of course, is crucial for us and for parents all across the state. And after all, I would say is that our children are our biggest investment in our future. And when we find that the ways in which we're doing things and are educating our children is not really bearing fruit in the way that we think that it should, it's really incumbent on us to make sure that we're getting it right, not only for our children, but of course for the future of the state. And so, you know, Ron talked about the civics education. That's so important that they need to understand the unique principles in which this nation was founded. And, you know, if they want to live the American dream, they need to understand the American dream. They have to appreciate it, and they need to be able to defend it. And so I am very excited. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be married to a great governor, the mother to 2 beautiful kids, and I'm excited for Florida's children going forward. So thank you, guys.
So we're happy to be here and make this announcement. This is the second education announcement we've made this week. Yesterday we were in Tampa to do a really path-breaking announcement about career and technical education. You actually see it here. You see it in spots around the state. We want to bring these types of programs statewide so that folks are graduating high school with an industry certification like they do here. We want to see that standard, and we want to have a nimble education system that is constantly looking, working with the community, working with businesses, responding to what some of the needs of the economy may be, conscious about how the economy may be changing, so that our students are always put in the best position as possible to succeed. I mean, things have changed a lot since when I was coming through the school system, but I think the pace of change that we've seen since I was a kid has been significant. But I think it's going to be much more significant going forward. I think we're in an era of constant upheaval, and we just need to be able to respond to that, and I think we will. So that was a very important piece. You're looking at real significant investment in training teachers to be able to instruct in things like computer science. I know we have that is being done in Lee County. I think there's an appetite to do it in other places. We don't necessarily have all the training in place, so we're putting real dollars into that. We're also doing some innovative things like, you know, folks who get some college but then don't get that bachelor's degree. You know, we want to be able to kind of reverse credential that so that, you know, if they have enough credits for an associate's degree at UF but just can't get through, at least get them the associate's degree so that they can go out and start to be productive. And then we want to also do a new program for what we're calling the last mile completion. You have some people that get pretty close to getting that degree, and then for whatever reason, I mean, things happen in life, they don't quite get over the hump. We want to provide financial incentive that if you're over 90% of the way there, that we can link you up with appropriate courses so that you can get that degree and move on to be more productive. So I think we're going to be doing an awful lot. We're going to be rolling out more stuff next week with regards to education that I think will be exciting for a lot of folks. And so, look, at the end of the day, you know, we're working hard because I think that the harder we work, the more we can do for Floridians. And so I'm happy to be here for this announcement. I'm proud of our announcement yesterday, and I look forward to making some more announcements next week. So with that, I'll take some questions.
How soon will it be eliminated, and how quickly would you like to see something in its place?
So this is going to be a process that is going to take the balance of this year, and then we will go to the legislature next session and want to get that done. So we don't want to dilly-dally, but at the same time we want to do it right. And you know, we could have just tried to dictate something on high, but I think it's definitely worth having Richard get into the communities, listen to people, so that we get something that a lot of people have confidence in. Yes, sir.
Are you working with vocational schools and education for craft trades?
Absolutely. Yeah, we are. I mean, look, you look. So we were at it's a technical high school in Tampa yesterday, and I was talking to a young fella who he had a cool. I mean, it's like the school logo that had welding program. So he's in the welding program, and he said he's already been offered jobs for welding, and he's 16. He's like, I can't take them. But what'll happen is when he's a senior, once he gets to be 18, he will actually be able to do the last 2 periods, leave school early to go work. And he'll be able to make money, and he'll have a job, a full-time job waiting for him. And the interesting thing is even as they're giving them those requirements or giving them those opportunities, and even though this guy was in a welding program, he was also taking AP classes at the same time. So the idea that, you know, people say, oh, is this like Europe? You got to choose vocational or that. No, you actually can do both and then figure out what opportunities are there for you and make those decisions. And so I think that's the way it needs to be. Yes, ma'am. I don't think we're going to lose any. I mean, the president is opposed to Common Core, and I think our standards will be much higher in many respects, but I think it'll be standards that are more reflective of what the folks are looking for, and I think it'll be more geared towards knowledge rather than just maybe teaching to a test.